Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you to Google Forms PD. My name is Jen Vanhaver. I am the DIS at Measle Elementary School. I have been with South Bend School Corporation for 25 years. I've had a lot of different positions, but before I became a DIS, I spent 18 years teaching fourth grade with a focus on Gen Ed, EL, and also working with our third graders that were in fourth grade classrooms that did not pass IREAD. So today we're going to go through Google Forms. Okay? The question of why Google Forms. Google Forms can do a lot for you. It can create quizzes. You can survey your students. You can create lessons, and those lessons can have feedback. You could do a reading response, a book report, an exit ticket. But my big thing with why Google Form is saving time. Google Form is self-grading. That grading can be imported into your Google Classroom. It asks a variety of different questions. It's easy to upload to your Google Classroom, and there are various ways for you to view results. But again, time saving, I know that's something we're all looking for. So that's one of the big things with the Google Forms. So in my presentation that's in Canvas, I have a video for each step, and that will walk you through how to do each step of this when you get on your own. But I wanted to take the time and walk through each one. So we're going to start by creating a Google form. We're going to click on the waffle. And we're running slow. There we go. And I'm going to click on Google Forms. Okay. And as this is loading, we're going to create a blank form today, and I'm going to take you through all the different things that you can do in your Google form. Again, these are all things that in my presentation there is an attached video for. So if you want to go back and you forgot how to do something, you can always go back to that presentation. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to title my form. So for today, I'm just going to call it training. Okay. Right here, it now becomes training. I can add a form description. Whatever it is about, you can add that. I'm just going to put training PD. And then I'm going to go over here to my settings. I also have my theme. You can change your theme if you want. This is where you can make it fun or cute. They have all kinds of headers out here. You can upload a header or a photo. For example, Bitmoji classrooms are a big thing right now. So you could take and have a photo of your Bitmoji classroom. You could drag that in, and you could use that as your header if you wanted. All right, seems like my internet is running slow. Once that is done, you can crop it to where you want it, hit done, and now you have a cute header up at the top. You can also change your colors for your form. Those are just some fun things you can do with it. Then we can get into our settings, and we have general settings. Do I want to collect email addresses? Do I want to restrict it to the school corporation, limit it to responses? We have presentation, which would be as the students are going through. Do I want them to see a progress bar? Do I want to shuffle the questions? Do I want to show a link to submit another answer? But the big thing I want us to look at is quizzes. So this is where that time saving can really come into play. I can click on make this a quiz, and now this form is going to be self-grading. I can do release so that as students answer each question, they get immediate feedback on that, or I can change that to later. There's also a feature that's turn on lock mode, and with lock mode, the students are not able to get out of your Google form, so they can't go to another tab and be searching the internet for an answer or anything like that. I don't turn that on when I'm creating a Google form, because then I don't have the option to preview the form as I'm going. So I turn that on later, and when you upload your form to your Google Classroom, it will give you that option. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and now I have a quiz created. Over on the right-hand side, you see a little toolbar. We have add questions, import questions. I can have a title. I can add an image, and we're going to talk about that later. I can add a video, and again, those are both something we're going to talk about later. And I can add a section. If I have a question and I don't want the students to see that next question, I can add a section. So they're going to see question 1, and then they're going to have to hit next to go on to the next question. So I could add a section. But what I want to look at right now are just the multitude of questions that you can choose from. So when I click on the question, I have all these different choices: short answer, paragraph, and all of these down the line. So I just thought we would go through a few of these so you get an idea of what they are. For example, with a short answer, right now you notice I'm set to multiple choice. My first question might be, sorry, I can't type today. What is your name? Question mark. Okay. Something you may have noticed is that this was set as a multiple choice. Google automatically realized that that was not a multiple choice answer, and they changed it to a short answer for me. You can always go back and change that to something else, but it tries to know what you are asking. Okay. I can click on answer key. I don't have a correct answer. They're typing in their name. But if I wanted to give them points for entering their name, I can select how many points I want that question to be worth, and then I can click done. I want to add my second question. I'm going to go to the plus, and I'm going to click the plus sign. Now I have my second question. We also have multiple choice, check boxes, and drop down. So I could have something such as 2 times 2 equals, and I could have that be multiple choice. So I can make that be 4. I can hit return, 3, 6, 2. The thing when you're doing these, then you want your answer key. 2 times 2 equals 4. And so now this is self-grading. How many points do I want that to be worth? I can change the point value. Okay. Right now, that's a multiple choice question. I can change that. Maybe I want that to be a drop down. And I'm going to go ahead and click. The eye up here is a preview. So if at any point you want to see what a question looks like, you can click the preview. And now you'll see that this is a drop down where they just select the answer. The pencil right here will take you back to the form you were working on. Okay. And I'm just checking to make sure we don't have any questions yet. Okay. So then I can add another question. One of the ones that, and if you don't like I click that and I was up here, you can move the order, just click on it and drag it. One of the ones you can do is file upload. So if I click that, the students can take anything in their Google Drive. So maybe they took a picture of their art, or they had a worked out a math problem and you wanted to see that. That allows students to upload anything from their Google Drive to your form. I can add another question. And we have these linear scale. That could be something like, do you like reading? And I could have that as a scale from 1 to 5. And they would just pick where on the scale, from 1 being I don't like reading to 5 being I love to read. So they could click on that. One of the ones that gets a little confusing, I know, for some of the people that I've worked with, is the multiple choice grid and the checkbox. So I wanted to make sure we went over one of those. Multiple choice grid could be something like, what is a factor of 24? Okay. So in my row, I could have 2, 5, 6. And then in my column, I could have is a factor, is not a factor. So when I go and I view that, I can see now the students just have to choose. Is 2 a factor of 24? They're going to click that, and it requires a response for each section. Okay. The difference between that one and, and the grid box is that the grid box allows you to check more than one. Okay. So for a grid box, I could have something like, sorry, I added a couple of extra questions here. So for my grid box, I could have something like products of, so I could have a product of 2, say 5, say 4, and then I have my column 10, 12, 15. So when I view that, is 2 a product of 10? 12, it's not a product of 15. So I can mark more than one in each choice. Okay. Going back, a reminder too, when you are doing this, that you want to make sure you are always checking on the answer key. So 2 is a factor of 24. And then how many points do I want to make that worth? 5 is not, 6 is, and again, how many points do you want each of these questions to be worth? Okay. Other options that you have for questions, you have a date or a time. A date is just simply saying, maybe when can we meet? I'm just using, but you could have a date in history or something that you want them to do. When you do that, they come up and they can click on a date. They can change these by months, but they change when it is. And then there's also the option to do the exact same thing, but have it be a time, okay? So do we have any questions so far? Okay, so it looks like we're doing good with that. So I wanted to show you then how to add a video or a picture to this. So I can do it a couple of different ways. For example, I can do it right within the question. I can click image. If I have an image already loaded, I can add that. I can do it right through my drive. I could search. Maybe I was doing that 2 times 2, and I wanted to see if there was an image of that I could use for my question. I can click on that and I can insert it. Okay. And then again, I could do this right now, set for multiple choice, clicking and adding my options. Okay. The other thing you can do is you can add from over in this right-hand toolbar. This creates a whole nother section. So right now it's asking for an image. I have a passage that I had saved beforehand. So I can go ahead and click on that image. Now I have an image of a passage. It's Jack's Birdhouse. I can give it a title here. I could put Jack's Birdhouse. And then underneath this passage, I can add questions. So as I'm looking at the passage, how many birds go in the house? And then that could be a short answer. I could change it to multiple choice. I could add another question under that, but you would have all the questions underneath that section go with that passage. You could also add a video. So this is where your lessons, you can be adding a YouTube video. So you could search a video. You could type in a URL if you know that. So I'm just gonna do rainbow fish. And maybe I want a read aloud of that. When I get in here, I see there are lots of different options. I'm not sure which one is best. I can go ahead and just click on it.
Hello, my reading friends. It's Ani. Today's shout outs go to Iba Wasim in North Dakota.
Okay. If that's the one I want, I can go ahead and select. If I'm thinking, no, I didn't like that one, I can click on a different one, preview it. Okay. I can watch that. If I decide that's the one I like the cool little music, I can click select. And now that image is added, and I can go ahead, same thing, add questions about the read aloud that they just watched. Okay. You do have some options up here if you want to duplicate the slide. I put this question, oh no, I don't want it. Here or on this slide up at the top, I can hit delete. Okay. The other thing that I haven't talked about is also that you have this required. If you have that on, students will be required to answer that question. If you shut it off, they can skip it and not answer it. Okay. And again, the same thing with this, you would put your question, you click on your answer key, and you can add. Just checking. All right. I have the chat on another computer besides, so I'm just checking to make sure that we don't have any questions so far. So the other thing that is really cool with Google Forms is that I'm going to go back up to maybe this multiplication problem. What's really cool with Google Forms is I already had this set as a quiz. I marked my correct answer, okay? But there's this other tab here that says answer feedback. So I know that 2 times 2 is 4. I've marked that. I mark how many points. Maybe each question is worth 5 points. I'm gonna add answer feedback. So I can add feedback either for incorrect or correct answers. I'm gonna put feedback for incorrect answers. So if the student picked 3, 6, or 2, we know that's wrong. I could type in, that's not the correct answer. But the other cool thing you can do is you can either add a link or you can add a video. So this takes me into YouTube, and I'm going to search, oops, multiplying by 2. Let's see if anything comes up. So just like we did before where we added the video, we can preview these.
Jack Clarkson, Kid Music Channel.
All right, so that's the one I want. I'm gonna select. Now, when the students click, I'm gonna go ahead, you can add the link, you can display. I'm gonna go ahead and click save. Right now it is incorrect answer, and I've added a video about multiplying by 2 to help them review their facts, so I'm gonna click save. So now, if anybody clicks 3, 6, or 2, and they get the incorrect answer, then you have already linked this video. When they click the wrong answer, it's going to automatically take them to this video that's going to review their facts by multiplying by 2. Okay. Let's see. Most of the videos, I believe, should be fine. I think if they are coming up through your computer, like when we're searching, they should be okay for the students to view. I don't think they will be blocked out by our our filters. Okay. All right. And yes, this is all created in Google Form. And again, the presentation that is linked into my Canvas course has all of this information, and there is a video to go with each step of this. So when you leave this session, you forgot how to do a step, there's a video that I have created that will walk you through each step of this. Okay. All right. Looks like I don't see any other questions on that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the next step. So you've created your quiz. Again, you can add pictures, you can add videos. One of the features that I love is that being able to add feedback to the students, whether you're typing in that feedback or you are creating a resource to help them review what they missed. When you get completely done with your form, you can click on the preview. Again, that's going to show you exactly what this looks like for the students. So I always, before I provide a form out, I always look at that preview just to make sure that it is how I want it to look. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can add this to your Google Classroom. Now, one of the things I did not do is I did not go back in to this and change this setting to lock. And I did that for a reason, because I want to show you that when you are in your Google Classroom that you can also do that. So if you have created that quiz and you forget to do it, the Google Classroom is always going to remind you of how to do that. So I'm just going to go into a classroom that I have created. In this, I'm going to go to my classwork, just like you would assign a Google slide or a doc or anything else. I'm going to click Create an Assignment. And then I am going to just call this Training 2. Complete this form. And I'm going to go ahead and add. And I'm going to add it from my Google Drive. And again, my internet's being slow. You can search for it, but because it is something that I had right here that I was using, It's popping up. Now, you will notice right here, lock mode on Chromebook. So I didn't do it back when we were in this setting. We're going to say I forgot. When I go to assign it, that lock mode is right here. So I can turn that on. The other thing you can turn on is grade importing. So this is going to import all of the grading right into your Google Classroom. So again, when I say one of the benefits of a Google form is saving time, this is going to be set up that it is going to grade everything for you, and it's going to import that grading right into your Google Classroom. Okay. So I go ahead, I look over here, I check who am I assigning it to, check all of that, and I go ahead and I assign it. Your students are just going to click on this and they're going to complete it, and it will turn in, and then you can view it just like you would any other assignment. The one thing I do want to be clear, if you post this in your stream, that import grading is not going to work, and that turning off or setting the lock mode will not work. You have to assign it as classwork. Okay. Okay. Now, we're going to say that we've done this and it is all completed. Now I want to see what my results look like. And I am just using a form that I have been doing with my staff so that you can see what viewing reports or responses would look like. So when I click on responses, the first thing I get is a summary. I can see who was emailing. I can see who still hasn't responded. So if you have students that did not complete that Google form, your quiz, your assignment, you'll be able to see. And then this is just a summary. It will tell you how many students answered what, like a multiple choice, who answered which choice A, B, C, or D. Then you can also look at by each question. Okay, so I have a question that's by name. I have for my teachers how confident they are. And so I can see that 5 people are very confident. And then the other thing I can look at as by individual. So I can see each person and see exactly how they responded. Okay. The other thing that is really nice about a Google form is you can go up here and you see that sheet icon. You can go ahead and click on that. And you will see that everything and how everyone answered is automatically put into a Google Sheet. So I can view all of my results right there in the Google Sheet also. Okay. All right, I'm just checking. Again, I can't see your chats on my computer, so I'm checking over here. All right, looks like, yeah. This is being recorded. It does take about 24 hours. I see that coming across for it to be back. Also, like I said, that resource within the Canvas course has the slide presentation, and with each step, I have a video that explains how to do each step. So you can always go back to that and watch the videos that I created and put on there. Okay. All right. All right. The other thing that I do have in my presentation is I have at the very end of the presentation, and let me go, when I talk about that each slide in my presentation has a video, this is a presentation that is available as a resource in Canvas. So adding a title, heading, description, checking settings, there's a video right there. Adding questions, here's a video that explains each type of question, creating it as a quiz, how to insert those in feedback for students, adding a video or a passage, how to look at the preview, adding it to your Google Classroom, looking at the responses. There's one about importing the grades. And then one of the last things that you will see, I have my information here. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. But I also have here examples. And I'm going to go ahead, and that will take you, if you click on that, it's going to take you into a Forms PD. These are some that are already created. My presentation is also on here. For example, there's one that is created that is about sloths. So as we wait, the passage is loading. But this is a pre-created one. Any of these that are in here, please feel free, make a copy, use them. Some of them are ones I created. Some of those, if you get into like Teachers Pay Teachers and type in Google Forms, you can type math, language arts, or just Google Form, your grade level, and click free. You will find this is one that I found in there that was for free, already created. So everything is right here. So it has the passage for them to read, questions for them to answer, and then there's a video about sloths at the end. Okay, so that's in there. Again, make a copy. I was thinking about our specials teachers. I'm trying to see where they're at. So for example, this is a Spider-Man workout. So this is a YouTube video that has a whole workout. So the students can click on this and watch the video. What part of your body does Spidey Kick work out? What was the hardest part of the workout? What was your favorite exercise? And they can click on that. So that would be something that could be used for gym. There's a music note one that could be used for music. This one is a art, Leonardo da Vinci. So again, it's asking for your name, and then it's going to come up. This is a video that they would watch, and then there are questions that they can answer about the video. Maybe it's a reading response. What's your favorite part of the story you're reading, the book? So your name, title, chapter, pages of the book, and what was your favorite part? So that's a short answer. It can be great for just a quick exit ticket. I didn't really show this, but this is a first grade math review one. And so the question is, how many apples do you see? And that's taking a minute to load. So here's the picture, short answer. They would just count how many apples and put that. Here's a domino. How many more dots would you need to make a group of 10? Just a problem. One of the things I didn't really show, let me go back to mine. If I wanted to, I have a question here. I could put my question, what does the number 2 look like? Okay, so not only can I add a image or a picture to my question, I can do that with my answer choices too. So here I'm on option 1. You see that image? If I click on that, I can do a Google search. I'm going to put 1 apple and see, here's an image that's just 1 apple. I'm going to insert that. So that is now going to be what option number 1 is. So especially when you were thinking about our littles. Option 2, I want it to show 2 apples. I can search for that image. I'm going to click these apples. I can insert this. Okay. And then I could add another one. And so for each of your answer choices, you could have a picture to go along with that for apples. So again, for our smaller children, all right, let's see if I don't see one with 4. Okay, we're going to change that to 3 apples. And for time's sake, I'm not going to look for the 4 apples. But this way, then it's multiple choice. The students would just pick which was the correct. Again, my answer key, I'm looking for 2. I'm going to select that it was option 2. If I wanted to do feedback and insert a video about numbers, I could do that here. Okay, and I'm going to click done. I did see a question about where the resources were coming from. In my presentation in Canvas, the very last slide says examples, and you can click on that. It'll open up a form PD, and all of these resources are in here. One, I'm trying to see if I even put it in here. One that I did in the classroom, and I know we're not in the classroom right now, but I did have 4th grade, and my 4th graders love this. They had to apply for classroom jobs. So they came in, just like if they were looking for a real job, they had to fill out an application online, last name, first name, what position they were applying for, what qualified them for the job, why they wanted the job. If it wasn't their first choice, were there other jobs they wanted to apply for? Educational background, were they currently employed? Had they ever been fired from a job? And if they answered yes to the question above, they had to supply the reasons for me. So that was just a kind of a fun way for them to do a job application for the classroom, but it also was kind of that real world experience opportunity for them too. All right, did we have any other questions?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Perfect. So I saw a couple questions about like short answer or like opinion questions. What do you put on the answer key for those kind of questions?
Those, I believe you have to kind of go through and self-grade.
That's all. That's the only reason I know how to do it as well. So
okay,
Yep.
I was gonna say that's the only way I know is that you would have to go in, and those you would actually have to read and grade yourself.
And then I answered the question, but I didn't know if you wanted to show. I'm trying to find it now. If it's in your Google Classroom, will it automatically register to their email address so we know who did it? Because the person asking is a kindergarten teacher, so the kids can't type their emails.
I believe it does.
Okay. And I said if you go up to your settings and check mark that collect email address, as long as the students signed in, it automatically will collect it.
Yes. So that would be in this one right here where we're going settings, general, and that very first one. I can't change this right now because I put this in Google Classroom, and it's actually, let me do this, I can't change. Again, when you're in lock mode, it doesn't let you do other things. So right here in that general setting from your year, collect email addresses. So just make sure that that is marked, checked, and then it will save it for you.
The last question I'm seeing, so a lot of people are asking, where are you getting the examples, which you said is already on your slide and in your Canvas course. But there is one asking, can you have a form being used more than one day with the responses saved each day? For example, like a reading log.
There is a setting, I believe. So right here, it's in general, limit to one response. I believe if you take that off, and I can double, if that person wants to email me, I'll double check. I believe if you take that off, they're no longer limited to just one response, so they could respond to that form each day.
Yep, we did this a lot at the secondary level for actually like our attendance, right? So the kids get on the same form every day, but they change the date. So there's one of the options for questions is a date. So we have the students come in, change the date, and then on our end, we can see the date.
Okay. Yeah, so right here, when you add a question, you have one of your choices is date. So you could add that. And then when the students see it, they would just click on the calendar. It's already highlighted today's date. Okay.
We're asking where are the examples on the Canvas course?
It's on that first page under, let me see, under resources.
Also, give a shout out to Barb. She is in the chat answering all your questions for you. She's got your back today.
Thank you. I'll help you out tomorrow, Barb.
You guys always have each other's backs.
We try to. All right. So when you're in the Canvas account, down right here underneath the live session resources, that will open up, I believe. Yes, that opens up my presentation. So again, all those videos that will take you step by step through everything. And then that very last page has that for examples. And again, my email, please feel free to reach out if you have questions, want to chat. I'm happy to do a Google Meet with you. I didn't really get into like the sheets or anything that you can do with that. I know we had another session going on at the same time that was on Google Sheets, but there's a lot you can do with that. Okay. All right.
Everyone is saying you're great. Miss Leslie Miller is giving you some props over here.
All right.
Everybody is. Tons of people. You're amazing. Thank you.
Well, you are all very welcome. Again, I was in the classrooms for a long time, so I know anything that you can do that can help save time, especially right now. You know, the Google Forms are that self-grading. Again, insert that kind of reinforcement. You got it wrong, but here's a video or, you know, a quick explanation of why your answer was wrong. So they're getting that feedback when you can't be there. I think it's very valuable and important. Okay. All right.
Fantastic.
Well, if there's nothing else, I know we only have about 15 minutes, but hopefully you feel comfortable that you can go ahead and hop in and start trying to create some forms. Again, any of those in examples, feel free to copy those and use them as they are or change them.
Awesome. Again, this recording will be on YouTube. It just takes about 24 hours to process. So thank you, Jen. You did fantastic.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.